100,000 square miles of ocean, where ships, planes, and people seem to vanish forever. Yet no one really knows why. Bordered by Puerto Rico, Miami, and Bermuda. Some say the lost continent of Atlantis sunk here and holds dangerous mystical powers. Others point to rogue waves or electronic fog. Still others go beyond ordinary explanations and insist that time warps disorient captains and pilots who send their ships and planes straight into oblivion.
These are not just accidents, they are disappearances and in circumstances that are very unusual. They all vanished and they should not have.
Separating truth from fiction has always been a challenge. But there are some facts that cannot be argued. Fact: this triangle is a vortex of extreme natural conditions. Conditions that account for many of its mysteries. Fact: many lost ships have been located, but those locations raise other disturbing questions. And fact: some disappearances still defy any explanation.
The ocean is a part of it, because nothing like this happens over land. Nothing just vanishes over land. So in the end, the ocean holds the answer.
In order to look at the triangle from an entirely new perspective, we need to peel back the water and see what lies beneath.
We know quite a lot about the general shape of the seafloor, but the rest of it we don't know much about at all. We know a lot more about the moon than we do about the seafloor.
First, we need to see the big picture. With the use of modern side-scan sonar and satellite surveys, 3D maps are being generated, allowing us to investigate the Bermuda Triangle from the bottom up. Within the triangle can be found some of the Atlantic's unusual features. Features that would make finding a lost craft nearly impossible. Beginning here in Bermuda, we strip away the surrounding sea. Bermuda looks like a dormant volcano, the height of Mount St. Helens before her 1980 eruption, standing alone at the northern point of the triangle. Moving south and traveling across a barren, flat plain the width of Alaska, covered with silt and sediment, lies a trench more than 5 miles deep. This is the seismic center of the triangle, the final resting place for many vanishings. The southern point of the triangle, Puerto Rico. This is the deepest part of the Atlantic, over 5 miles deep. Any ship or plane that crashed in this area would never be found. To the west, along the Caribbean islands, rising like southwestern plateaus, the Blake Escarpment, the steepest cliffs in the triangle, nearly 20 times the height of the Empire State Building. And the continental shelf, hundreds of miles of gentle sloping sands, torn in half by the rampaging Gulf Stream. Though these features are inspiring, they still do not reveal why the Bermuda Triangle steals life at such an alarming and inexplicable rate. Strangely, in all these maritime disasters, there is one essential factor missing.
All those that have vanished, not one aircraft, not one vessel has ever left an automatic alarm indicating sinking or impact. When it's a disappearance, it's a disappearance. There is nothing.
Or are these disappearances the result of nature on the attack?
There can be nothing there, and then 15 or 30 minutes later, you have a real big thunderstorm. You've got tons of lightning, and blinding rain, and gusty winds.
But records indicate that many ships sank in fair weather, and often with experienced captains. One of the most famous of all Bermuda Triangle disappearances is that of the USS Cyclops. To many, this this is one of the holy grails of the Triangle mystery.
The USS Cyclops was the greatest U.S. naval maritime mystery to date. It's basically a ship that went missing, coming from South America, heading towards the mid-Atlantic states, and just disappeared. No trace, no debris, no victims, no bodies, nothing.
Recently, a mysterious wrecked ship was discovered here, just 200 miles from Miami. Sonar readings suggest it could be comparable in size to the Cyclops. We accompanied an expedition willing to undertake a precarious deep dive to unravel the identity of this mysterious ship.
We have a couple potential suspect vessels that we're trying to confirm some hunches, some diagnostic features, and some archival information we've gotten. So we'll use that to try to find some clues in the wreck to help us identify this unknown wreck. The locals have been fishing for 30, 40 years or so, but no one knows what it is.
If this wreck is the Cyclops, then a major mystery of the Triangle will be solved. A lost ship where it doesn't belong. Standard operating procedure for the Triangle.
It's a very intriguing wreck. What's most intriguing is it shouldn't be there. There's nothing reported to have sunk in that location.
No matter its identity, reaching the wreck will be no easy task. Like skydivers, they have to time their descent perfectly to work with the currents.
We're on hero, dive, dive, dive.
This wreck is 300 feet below the surface. It'll be dark, cold, with temperatures at 50 degrees Fahrenheit and pressures 10 times that of the surface. The divers will have just 20 minutes to explore the wreck before they spend nearly an hour returning to the surface. A good omen greets them as they reach the bottom. Every experienced diver knows amberjack are voracious predators that feed on the smaller fish that live near wrecks.
We had an amberjack come right out to us, so we knew we were very close proximity to the wreck. And we got on the bottom, we oriented ourselves, we're drifting along. The amberjack was swirling around us the whole time, so we knew the wreck was very close.
After a few harrowing minutes at depth, with poor visibility and low on oxygen, success. They find the wreck and take measurements. And they search for markings, nameplates, or any possible clue.
The coral camouflages everything, so it makes it very difficult trying to find the evidence you want to identify this wreck.
Ships oftentimes don't look like ships, and trying to find the pieces and parts to identify them becomes very, very difficult.
Then, in the cargo hold, another piece of the puzzle. Melted metal ore, implying a massive fire.
The cargo is the main clue we're working with. Pretty spectacular looking underwater. So you have all those swirls in the metal, and it looks like just a big block of lead, basically.
Then they discovered a clue, a single deck gun mounted to her stern. As is so often the case with the Triangle, this discovery only compounds the mystery. The Cyclops carried 4 guns along her side, but none on her stern. This can only mean one thing. This ship could not be the Cyclops. That mystery is still not solved. But as it often happens with the Triangle, a second mystery arises. There is only one ship sunk in the area that did carry a single deck gun on her stern. The Umtada, a World War II British cargo that fell victim to a German U-boat off the coast of Miami in 1942. She was known to be carrying metal ore at the time of her disappearance, which would explain the melted ore in this wreck's hold. But there is a problem. The Umtada was sunk hundreds of miles from this location. How could this wreck have gotten here? One of the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle may now have an explanation and a name.
The Gulf Stream essentially is a large gyre that encircles the entire northern Atlantic.
It hits you like a ton of bricks as you're going through it, like flipping a switch. You can imagine a large river flowing along the U.S. East Coast. So Florida can't work against it. You have to work with it.
I've corrupted my soul, both secure and prisoner.